Dewar Cruz here, your life applications officer this morning. Black folks. Black folks, yeah, that's what I said. Black folks, these people. And reparations. Okay. If you get your butt kicked, okay, and you come out of it alive, are you a victim for the rest of your life? Are you a victim for the rest of your life because someone beat you up and stole your money, robbed your house, ransacked your house? You came out alive. You got your house fixed. You were able to go to work and build that money back up. And they never caught the guy. And when they did catch the guy went to prison for something else. He didn't go to prison for what he did to you. Are you a victim for the rest of your life? Women get raped somewhere in America, a dozen to 100 to 1,000 places, different places around the globe every day. They're not going to live like victims for the rest of their life. They're going to get over it. I say they deserve reparations because that's hard to get over. Even though they caught the guy. Finally, after raping so many women, they caught the guy and put him in prison for all the brutal rapes he's done to women. They caught him, put him in prison, but I think she deserves some reparations because she's always afraid and she's always scared and she can't hold down a man because of that situation, and she doesn't know how to treat her children right, and she's just going through stuff that even though they caught the man and it's been years, she's still suffering. Now, here's one more. The girl that got brutally gang raped had a kid. Does the kid have to live out her mother's rape for the rest of her life? She can if her mother does not get help and start to treat her the way she should. If her mother lives out her victimization and her sad, memories and that out on her child, yes, that child will never grow up having the right definition of a man. She'll never have the right definition of sex. She'll never be able to find love. But if a man rapes a woman, brutally rapes a woman, and the woman later decides to have a child, is it the rapist's fault that she cannot raise her kid right? When does it stop being the suspect's fault? That's like saying Ted Bundy. That's like saying Ted Bundy is responsible for every woman that's ever been raped. Ted Bundy raped so many women and he went to jail for it. You can't go and memorialize Ted Bundy for every woman that's been raped or assaulted or has heard the story of the women that have been raped by Ted Bundy. You can't memorialize Ted Bundy and make a statue of Ted Bundy and say, we deserve something because of Ted Bundy. No. The women that he raped, they have to go through their struggle to get over it. And the women that came into this world knowing about Ted Bundy and what Ted Bundy did to these women and hearing their stories, these women have to use what they learn from these women and be careful that they don't let Ted Bundy happen in any woman's life again. That's how that's done. But you don't get to be a rape victim because you know some rape victims. You know what I'm saying? You knowing some rape victim or having a sister that's a rape victim or a mother that's a rape victim or whatever doesn't make you a rape victim. Now, one more. Let's say Ted Bundy has a son. Ted Bundy, yeah, he knows that his father was a rapist. He loved to rape women. And he went to prison for it. Why would we... Is Ted Bundy's son guilty because his father was a rapist? Ted Bundy son, so to speak, I'm using this as illustration. Let's say his son came up like a normal kid because he wasn't around his dad. His dad's in prison. Okay? He grows up the normal life with his foster parents or his mom and her new husband. However that goes, okay? And he grows up, he lives a normal life. He goes to high school and college, graduates, and becomes a engineer. He goes to school for engineering. He goes from doing engineering to doing the business of engineering and starts his own company, his own science company or whatever. Is this the worst man in the world because his father was a rapist? This Ted Bundy's son gets married. He has his own family. And everybody knows him not only as a good science, person, and a good builder, and he's building these machines that help people and all this stuff. He's a super engineer, a super scientist. He's rich and he's doing great. He's got a wife and kids, and he even is calling himself a Christian. how is Ted Bundy's son responsible? And should he receive any punishment or mistreatment because his father, Ted Bundy, was a super rapist, master rapist, who raped more women than anybody else ever, and was brutal about it. And he deserves to get every day in prison, and more and more and more. But he's had a son, and his son is going a different direction. Yeah, his son knows that everybody hates his father because his father was a rapist. What's that got to do with his son, though? My father was some things. My father was a womanizer. My father, I got kids. What do you call them? Step brothers, half brothers and sisters by my father. I don't even know them. Okay, I've had to call the cops on my dad because my dad came over the house when my mom and my dad were broken up. And my dad, my mom said no, and Dad kept going. I'd call the cops on him. Am I responsible? If his other kids see me and they recognize me as Fred's son, his second son, should they hate me because of what he did to them and my mother and a bunch of other women? He's dead because he liked to drink too. It killed him. They tell you don't drink and drive, but they don't tell you don't drink and fish in the middle of the river in a canoe. Okay? All I got was one boot. The boot that he was able to take off before he drowned. And it was a steel toe. What knucklehead wears steel-toed boots into the riverbank, into the middle of the river, and goes fishing while being stone drunk? He not only had on steel-toed boots, but he had on a heavy paint suit, because he was a painter and a very good one, and all that other equipment he had in that canoe. Am I responsible for my dad? Should the son of my father have to pay for everything he did wrong to women? Should I have to go out and pay these women dowries or something? Or complete the alimony payments that he didn't make or whatever because I'm the son of a bad man, a womanizer, a man that has no respect for women, and should I pay for what my father has done? People are like that in the world, you know what I mean? You get one Christian who decides not to act like a Christian. He decides to act like a pagan and do some crazy pagan stuff. And some people got hurt. Some people went to jail. Some people got molested, raped, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because of this guy's crazy behavior. You want all the Christians all over the world to pay for it. We're all responsible, according to to drink Alger. You know, that's bullcrap. Now, every day of my life, whether I'm going to work or I'm going to a picnic, whatever it be, in the presence of white people, I have to be very careful. Because, you know, like the other day at work, a couple days ago at work, there was these people blocking the wheelchair ramp. And as a security officer, I asked them not to. I had to squeeze around them to get to the fitness center because they were blocking the wheelchair ramp, and I tried to explain to them, sir, this is the fitness center. Wheelchairs come down here, bellmen, okay? None of this has anything to do with flying. Can you please not block the fitness center? Can you please not block the wheelchair ramp? Okay? They got smart. I know. Not as a black man, but as a person that works there. They got smart with me, but if I get smart back, I'm going to get fired, not them. They're not going to lose their account. I'm going to get fired. And it ain't got nothing to do with the fact that the white man had to show off. He had to show his A. Oh, ain't nobody going through there but you. I don't see nobody else, dude. And then a white lady that I thought was a very nice lady, she was standing down below. She thought that was cute. And it's like, I'm holding back my new treatments of her. I thought she was a sweet lady. They even thought that it was kind of weird for me to be speaking to her because I spoke to her because she was stranded. And I was like, you still here? You know, and they all went to looking like, who's he think he is? Dude, we're all employees. We all work together. At the end of the day, you can go back to your little segregated neighborhood and act any way you want to act and act like it's weird for, you know, but we're working together. It's my job to make sure this woman gets home safely. You know, this woman gets her ride home or whatever or not. If she can, I got to see what I can do for her. Okay, they all looking like, what's he talking to her for? Did you see the thing on my belt? I'm short. Maybe you didn't see my badge. Maybe you didn't see my badge. Because, you know, you got to look down. I'm kind of small. You got to look down to see my badge. But the funny thing is, the white man was trying to be funny about it, and I didn't think that was funny. I was pissed. But the black woman had the biggest mouth. Why is that? One black woman standing in the middle of all these white people had the biggest mouth. Why you doing that right? Man, we ain't bothering nobody. Ma'am, I shouldn't have to squeeze through y'all when y'all got plenty of places to wait for your ride. Your little luxury ride, your little limo, actually. Okay? There's plenty of places for you to, you can be down there, you can be out there inside the alcove where you can see your driver pull up, you know. Or you can go back into the lobby. Your driver calls you when he gets here or he comes inside looking for you. You can tell the people at the front desk, hey, we're over here in the lobby. Duh! There's no reason for you to block the wheelchair ramp. Our customers are paying all this money, you know, for the features of this building, this establishment, and they got to squeeze through you. It ain't nothing about you about fitness. Neither are you handicapped, riding in a wheelchair, neither are you a bellman. So, but I'm the bad guy because I dared to say something to these high and mighty people. And if I get mad and take my hand off that elevator button and walk back about 2 inches and say, excuse me, what's that mean? So what? Because I'm the only one going through here, it doesn't matter? What's that mean, dude? No, let's have a real conversation about this. I would get fired if I did that. Because I would simply say, what idiot blocks a wheelchair ramp when you know it's for handicapped people? We need to argue about this dude. But see, if I get smart with him, I'm going to be out of a job. And I'm going to need some reparations. Because I'm out of a job. And I'm going to feel that it's unfair that they fired me when he was being the a-hole. Not to mention that little black lady, little black bee that was with him. They were both being Mr. and Mrs. A-hole. Not to mention all the other, all the other whiteys there that was laughing. A bunch of high and mighty wealthy people blocking the wheelchair. Oh, they don't have to care for the handicap. They don't have to care for our hard workers pulling luggage, heavy luggage up and down the ramp. Excuse me, every 2 seconds. And I'm in security and I'm not supposed to say anything about it. I'm supposed to mind my own business, but I work there. So what I have to do is I have to put in a request to my general manager, which is a very nice lady. If it keeps happening, and it doesn't happen a lot, so I'll let it go. But if it keeps happening, I'll go to her and I'll say, hey, is there anything we can do about that wheelchair ramp? People loitering on the wheelchair ramp, using the wheelchair ramp, they have conversations. That's not the place for it. And you know what? She will put a sign on there. She will give us permission to make people get their butts off the ramp. If we catch them loitering up there, blocking our customers' ways, she will. And that's how you do things, folks. That's how you do things. I will talk to my white general manager and get these white people and this one little black lady, okay, to chill off that daggone wheelchair ramp. Have some goddamn respect for the handicap and our employees that have to pull luggage for people up and down that ramp. And the people going in the fitness center that didn't know they was paying to squeeze through all these white perverts. You know what I mean? I'm sure they're perverts. I'm sure they are. Anyway, there's a way, my point is there's a way to deal with what you don't have and what you don't have a right to do. If you don't have a right to do something, you can go get those rights. Now, I have never been through slavery. My grandmother ain't never been through slavery. My grandmother been through the aftermath of Jim Crow, or I don't know, how long ago was Jim Crow? She might have been a teenager when Jim Crow, I don't know. I'd have to do the math, but I know that slavery was a long time ago. They're not asking for reparations for Jim Crow, they're asking for reparations for slavery. You think that this helps black people? It doesn't. It makes us two things. It makes us, number one, more hated by everyone around us because we have the nerve and the audacity and the idiocy to do this. And then it also causes other immigrants and other people that are here that are not white Americans, okay, to start, all it's going to do is cause them to go after our government and demand something for them, for their race, for their communities, that ain't fair for them to have either. They can go out and work like everybody else. They can go learn some English. What you need to be doing is putting pressure on, our government to help you speak English better so you can do your job better. What you need to do. Okay? And then lastly, white people are going to come in third place. And every time white people ain't making a certain amount of money, they're going to say, hey, we need reparations. I got 7 kids. And my wife is disabled. I'm working and working and working. Can't afford the taxes on my house. Barely can afford my mortgage, my car payment, you name it. I need reparations. My whole family been going through this since black people were slaves. We need some reparations. But I've never been a slave. I've applied for jobs where they are very segregated. They only expect white people to work there. And so I got turned down. I went to the job next door. Okay? I went to the building next door and applied for a job. Became the first black man working for the company. If they don't accept you over here, go over here. When I moved into Westmoreland County back in the day, they sent everybody letters. They made a new rule. If you are a family that makes a certain amount of money and has children, if you're married with children, please apply for this job. We would be glad to have you. We have several positions open. And they were sending it to just as many black people as they were white. Because why? It didn't matter whether you was white or black. It mattered whether you was married with children. And so the people that were married with children, when they reapplied for the new, openings, all the married with children people got hired first. And then us single people, we had to fight over, we was mad because there's 5 positions left, 10 positions left. And so we was in there scribbling on that application we was signing so fast. We was scribbling on it. We was all trying to hurry up and get that application done and get that resume in there, that they kept handing us the application back. Sorry, I can't read your writing. We trying to hurry up and get the job. Because after all these family people, there's only room for 10 of us. And they're looking for people that got, college background and special skills from other jobs and stuff like that too. But that's funny. That's funny. Oh man, I need to turn my TV off when I'm doing these videos. But there's only 10 of us, and out of the 10 of us, they're also looking for college background and special skills like engineering skills, mechanical skills, and all like that. I didn't get the job, but I was called into line. And I was one of the people who actually was called to get in line and be there if they didn't hire these other people. But they hired first come, first served basis. If you had special skills, or a college degree in certain things, you got first. Now today they consider that that's wrong. You can't do that. do that today anymore. But my point is, we were all called in, and it wasn't based on black or white. Matter of fact, once the married people with children were out of the way, they wanted, being black was one of the things that they wanted you to have to get hired. They were going to hire black people before they hired white people, because the debate about, black folks crying for jobs in the area, and what I'm saying, there's like an award when you're in a big corporation like Allegheny Ludlam, and you have so many blacks and immigrants working for your company. So it definitely had nothing to do with skin color. It dealt with skills and experience after they got the family people out of the way. But some of them folks that were black got hired and they didn't have squat because they wanted some black people working in there for their records. For records' sake, they wanted some black people working there. So some of them black folks, they were, if they graduated from high school even, that's all they had. But they get these black guys in there, and these white men that are skilled, they got in there based on their skills and their college degree and all that kind of stuff. And they know something about engineering, they know something about being a mechanic and all this kind of stuff, operating machines. They've had other jobs, some of the stuff they learned in school, you name it, okay? They had to teach these black men. They had to baby these black men. And if I'd have got hired, they would have had to baby me, because at that time, the only jobs that I had done so far was like food service jobs. I worked at the hotel as a busboy, okay, and a dishwasher, okay. So they would have had to baby me, because I don't know squat. Even today, I don't know nothing about no engineering. I don't know nothing about being a mechanic. The only reason why I used to know how to fix my car was because, I couldn't afford to keep paying the most, in Westmoreland County, paying the most expensive mechanic in town to fix my car every time something went down that I wasn't sure what was going on. So, some of my white brothers who don't pay mechanics to fix their cars, them old cars that we used to drive, they fix their own cars. They got garages, they fix their own cars. This is white America for you. This is why you gotta love white people, okay? So they would teach me, hey, D-Roy, come on down. I'm gonna show you how to save some money on your carburetor. And, back then you had a carburetor. I learned everything about that carburetor. And I had this old man. He died probably about a year after he showed me all this stuff. He was a very nice man. He says, I'll fix your car for free on one condition. You come down here and help me fix it. I went down there. And this is in a town that's supposed to be very racist too. But I went down there. And this is Lower Borough. Now, Lower Borough is a little bit different today. But back then, there wasn't no black folks in Lower Borough. There still ain't that many black folks in Lower Borough. And, everybody that, got out of the car in Lower Borough would complain about, white people at the Midas shop, and white people at the oil change shop, and white people at the supermarket, and blah, 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 and these white kids, white this, white that, At the same time that this brother, a good Christian white man, he was the father of, I met his son, and his son was a good friend of a friend of mine. And so my friend said to this old man, what can we do for D-Roy? So He said, come on down here. I'll show him how to work on his carburetor. He's going to do it with me. So I took my car down there, and we worked on the carburetor together. And that he got the car up running in a matter of less than an hour. Okay. We also worked on my starter. I went down there one time. He helped me put a starter in there, and you name it. Okay. And you know, when I had problems with similar cars, you know, after I got married and everything and had problems with similar cars, you know, I would like if I went to them, I was still lazy. I'm not a mechanically inclined man. I don't like getting oil and all that stuff on me. So I took the car to the mechanic first. And if they charged me too much, then I told my wife, I says, let me see what I can do. She said, you gonna ruin the car? I says, I know a little bit. Okay, let me see what I can do. You know, you gotta understand, this is a black woman talking. She don't think that I get around and hang out with white people enough to know some of these things. Okay, so you know, I had to explain to her, let me take a look at it. You know, and I'd get up under there, I'd jack the car up and get up under there, and I got stuck because, you know, there were some screws in there and some stuff that I ain't seen before, you know. So I called one of my white friends on the phone. He didn't even have to come down. He told me what to do right over the phone. You know what I'm saying? This guy was a mechanic. He had a mechanic shop in Russellton. And, you know, he became good friends of my family, you know. But in closing, black people have yet to learn how to be Americans. Americans work for a living. You know why I can't hate on the children of slave masters? Because the children of slave masters have to work for a living. They have to, you know, white people make sure their kids go to college if it costs them every spare dime that they have. They save up from the time they have their first child. They save up for all their kids to go to college. And if they can't save up for all their kids to go to college, then they teach their kids how to go out and get a job to help them work their way through college. They go to college later, or they get a job as a youngster to help mom and dad come up with the money to put them through college. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And these kids, they work at McDonald's while they are trying to go to college. They work at McDonald's and Burger King, and they go to Popeye's Chicken and get a job working around nothing but black folks. They're the only white boy in there. Okay? And the only one up front working. These black folks is working this white boy like he's a slave. Let me say that again. These black folks, there's 7 or 8 of them in there. 2 of them managers. And the rest of them BSing. I'm watching this. They working this white boy and white woman, you know, it different. They did this at this new McDonald's, you know, the new computerized McDonald's. There's one right here in, it's funny how it's Brentwood. Ain't no black folks in Brentwood. But yet, the black folks own the McDonald's. The supervisor, they brought the supervisor, I know her from the ghetto right up the street. They brought her down here, put her in our McDonald's. And she in there with a bunch of other black folks working this, well, there's 2 white women in there. One white woman's older, but this one new white lady. They got her working her butt off. And she ridiculed this white woman in front of everybody and told her, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing this. I'm back here doing this. You back there doing that with plain clothes on. Looking like you about to get on a motorcycle and drive off. Okay? This white woman is slipping and sliding and rushing and repairing people's orders and all this, and you talking to her like that. You working this white woman for crap that is not in the policy, that she has to do all that work by herself. You're supposed to be, you're the supervisor. You could be working the desk along with her. Instead of her working the desk and going and filling up bags and trays and walking them out. You know what I mean? Same thing with the white boy at Popeye's Chicken. You got supervisors back there sitting in the office on their phone. I'm watching them. They're in there playing on their phone. They're going to come out and tell this white boy, make sure you do this and that and the other thing. Meanwhile, they ain't coming out front to lend a hand to this white boy with all these people in line. And you think that helps you? It doesn't. It makes you lose customers. When you try to play the victim and think that you can get back at white people and enslave white people, black folks, when you do this, you lose business. Do not do unto others as they've done unto you, but do unto others as you want them. That's what the Bible says. Do unto you. It doesn't say do unto others as they already did unto you. It says, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Okay? Black people don't understand that concept. Oh, you white, we gonna work your butt because we went through slavery. We don't care if your butt is ours for 8 hours. We don't care if you punch out on time, as long as you don't leave nothing for us to clean up. I listen to you. I hear you. I'm watching you. I'm there. Hopefully this whole thing about reparations won't happen. They're putting it up in the air right now. They're listening. And it's starting in one state and city. I forget which one it is. I might put the link to the video in the description. I don't know if it was Texas or Georgia. Sounded like it was Georgia. Don't quote me. But I'll try to remember. I'll forget. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description. But, Brandon showed the video of these people trying to explain to this panel why they need reparations. You don't need reparations. You need a job. Just like Asian people need a job. Spanish people need a job. Indian people need a job. Okay? Anybody who goes to work every day and think that white people got it so easy, you need to get out more. It's not like that. I know white people who work through the skin of their teeth to take care and provide for their families. I know they do. And at the same time, they understand how the world works. What they don't know how to do is use the government like a lot of black folks and immigrants know how to use the government to their favor. That was one of the reasons why the KKK went after black people. It wasn't because of the color of their skin. It was because black people, being the aftermaths of slaves, they were putting weight on the government. And these white folks was like, hold up. Just because you move into our neighborhood, that don't make you poorer than us. We're poor. We can't feed our kids. We can't feed the dog. You know what I'm saying? These white uniforms that we wear, they don't come free. Okay? You know what I'm saying? The government can be doing something for us. And here these black folks coming in here acting like they're the only ones that's supposed to put weight on the government. And these Klan members knew how to put weight on the government. That's why the government hasn't shut them down. Because I guess that's the government's so-called reparations to them by letting them continue to Klan or something. It's dumb. It's don't get me wrong. It's dumb. It's stupid. But it's the government itself that's stupid. It's not white people in general. Okay? But if it so happens that black people really get reparations, this will rob the government big time, because everybody has a reparations card already in his pocket, ready to whoop out the minute they think our government is crazy enough to do this. And don't get and I told Brandon Tatum when I watched his channel, I said, you just wait for it. All the immigrants, the Spanish people are next. They're going to want reparations. They're going to want something. Okay, you know, the Asian people and the Indian people and that are not living wealthy like the rest of their family. They got to work rinky-dink jobs next to black people that's always griping and complaining and throwing the work on them and all like that. They're going to be asking for something. They're going to squeeze the government for something as well. This does not help black people. This only makes more people hate black people. This only divides us. Black people need to go to work and go to school like everybody else. If you're having a problem with money, then you're having a problem with a daggone good job. If you're having a problem with money, then maybe you need some financial counseling. But asking for reparations when there's white people out there, I don't care if it's 1 out of every 10, 1 out of every 20. There's white people out there that are living less than you. There's white people out there that are homeless. I had to escort one off the property last night. He was white. He's about as white as Trump. I had to escort him off the property last night. He broke. He wanted some water. I says, brother, you don't want that water. That water's still been sitting there all day. It's not cold or whatever. He said, well, I'm coming all the way from so-and-so. I just want a cup, brother. I said, brother, we don't give our water to outsiders. That's for our guests, and that water is stale. He said, well, got that fruit in it. I'd like to get some of that fruit in the cup. I just want to taste it. I'd like to get some water. Man, I've been traveling all day. Blah, 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 blah. I said, brother, I don't have a cup. Then he tried to find a way to stay, and he knew he didn't have the money. He knew he probably got $2 in his pocket. You know, he knew he couldn't stay. He just tripping. He just playing with us. But I am Deroy Cruz. I am your life applications officer. Do black people need reparations? No, they don't. What they need to do is get over slavery. What they need to do is learn from the white man and see how to survive this amazing, wonderful country. They need to learn how to survive. They don't need reparations. They need to learn how to care about their own people. They need to learn how to care about other people. They need to get out more. They need to get around more. They need to work like everybody else and do what they need to do to take care of their families, because this is 2022. It is available for you to take care of your family just like everybody else. The jobs are out there and the people are out there to help. You do not need reparations. Reparations is only going to divide us. Like we're already divided. This will only divide us more. and cause us more problems. It will only cause immigrants and other people that are non-white to attack our government. Okay? Until our government is completely squeezed and out of cash and able to do anything for anybody. Joe Biden's not going to tell you that. I'm wondering what Trump would do if you asked Trump for reparations and he was the president. I know what he would do. He would say, I can't give you reparations, but this is what I can do for you. That's what he would do. He would give you something else. He wouldn't give you reparations. But black people are so much into victimization politics. They're so deep in this memorialized religion of racism, okay, and Jim Crow, that they don't understand when things are new. They don't understand when things are available. They don't understand when things have changed. But because they're so embedded in this religion of racism that they can't see that all you got to do is apply for a job. And if you feel that they ain't going to hire you, while you waiting to see if they're going to hire you, go to the job next door. You just need to chill with it. Reparation. You need reparations like you need to go to jail for being a thug. Are you a thug? You get ready to rob our government for nothing. When you can go out there and work where you're well able to go out there and work like everybody else. White people work for a living. They didn't when you were slaves, but they work now. You gonna wait till white people gotta work for a living to decide that you need reparations? You should have got reparations during slavery. It's too late. Just stop. Just stop. Okay? Move on with that bullcrap. Okay? You know what I'm saying? If white people, if black people get reparations, okay, the next thing that I'll do, I will disown black people more than I already have. Because this will piss me off. This will piss me off, and I won't be able to say not one kind word about black people. You think that I talk hate on my people now? I hear about reparations coming. Not only am I going to hate Joe Biden even more, not only am I going to hate, you know, it's going to sound like hate speech coming out of my mouth. You think I'm speaking hate speech now on blacks? Go on and get some reparations. Go on. See what kind of crap I talk about then. Okay? And if white people, whoever these people are, in the government, if they agree to this nonsense, guess what? I'm going to talk about them worse than I talk about you. Because of you. God bless you. I am the Recruit Your Life Applications Officer.